A question that probably, oh, you ready? Probably in the world of teaching, when you're going for an interview, people always wonder what questions they're going to ask me. And it's not complicated in the world of teaching. I think some of the things you need to be prepared to answer is what are you bringing to the table? What experiences do you have? What lived experiences do you have? What background can you bring to the position to make sure that you're the person they're going to want to hire? And so it's okay to share your lived experiences. It's okay to acknowledge that your background, acknowledge your power, acknowledge your privilege, acknowledge who you are as a person, and then really give examples that are relevant to the position. That's the most important thing. Is if the question's asking you about a science job, talk about things that are relevant to the science position. Make sure you're very concise, keeping in mind that you only have 3 to 5 minutes to really provide a detailed answer. So make sure that you're very specific in your answers, and make sure you're really listening to what is the question is asking you. And often, if you're not sure, my suggestion is you ask to repeat the question. A good interviewer will give the question to you written and verbally as well, but if they choose not to do that, and questions can be very wordy, and if a question is very wordy, it's your responsibility to kind of dig out what exactly is that question asking me. It's like a math problem. When a math problem has a lot of words, but you're going to take all those words and make numbers out of it. It's the same thing for an interview. There could be a lot of words in there. Pick out the words that the question is asking you and make sure that you're able to communicate that and understand that before you start speaking. And if you're not sure what the question is asking you, ask for clarification. If you need the question repeated, ask for the question to be repeated. Remember, it's an interview is 30 or 35 minutes. It's a one-shot deal. There's no do-overs. There's no, can I come back tomorrow and try it again? So you have to be very concise, and some people are better at it than others. I think I'm a pretty good talker, so I'm pretty good at interviews, but that's not someone's forte. Other people's fortes might be writing or maybe other ways to express themselves. Unfortunately, an interview is a verbal interaction, so you really have to make sure that you're clear, you're concise, and that you're understanding what the question's asking you. And some other things you have to be mindful of is what do you bring to the table outside of your experiences? What experiences do you have around assessment? What experiences do you have around equity? What experiences do you have around classroom management? What experiences do you have that are going to be supporting students throughout the school, not just in the classroom? So you have to be prepared to talk about those things. How are you going to demonstrate as a teacher you're a culturally responsive teacher? So you making sure all the students in your class are successful. All the students in your class are going to do the very best. You have to be able to articulate that in the questions. So you should really weave equity, inclusion, and culturally responsive pedagogy somehow into all the questions that you're being asked, whether the word equity or whether those words are in the question or not. Make sure you weave those through in there, because if you do that, you'll be able to demonstrate you're ready to kind of take on the challenge of a very complicated profession these days.